Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Dab Dairy over the building. Yeah, got a special guest. He's an entrepreneur, CEO, record producer. Give it up, Mr. Kidd Klutch Productions. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Daniel. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. All right, man. So we got a bunch of topics. We're gonna talk about midterm elections, Kanye West, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, these coons, and Jerry Jones. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's the Black Evolution. Back at it again. Okay, let's get into it, Mr. Kidd Klutch. So let's talk about these midterm election results. What are the results, young brother?
Well, from the way I see it, it seems like black men really showed up this time and they really got what they wanted. Because it seems like the people that really spoke to black men and the issues that they had, they were winning their primaries and they won the general election. And it's showing that black men are taking back their power. They're tired of being blamed for the lack of stuff going on in the Democrat Party. Because before, the narrative kept being, oh, a black man going to vote Republican, or a black man going to vote for Herschel Walker, or black men, they going to mess things up again. And it's like, when people don't seem to understand, I think they were saying is black men, overall, they vote 80 to 90% Democrat most of the time. But they always want to frame it as black men, and a lot of times it's white women that are voting more Republican now.
Yeah. A lot of people saying, "Oh, the black man is this. Black man ain't worth nothing." Stacey Abrams lost because she tried to go against the black man, and that's why she lost.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And there's a few people that go sue that it's like that, and they keep. But the Democrat Party got to understand is, yeah, you could cater to the feminist movement and the women, but don't sit here and try to act like black men ain't worth a damn. And act like black men don't have a voice in this, and black men don't matter. And see, a lot of black men, they were waking up and seeing what was going on, and they said, no, we don't want our voice not to be heard. We don't want the media and the political elites and the elites in Hollywood to tell us what to do. We know what we need. We know what's needed in our homes and communities, and we're taking back control. We're tired of the media, and we're tired of the elites trying to control the narrative and push it. Because the reason why the black family and stuff has been destroyed is because of the government and the media. So now it's looking like it's becoming a new era of how we cover politics, because before people were not including black men, especially the Democrat Party. But I think it changed in the 2020 election when Donald Trump started targeting black men with disinformation campaigns, and he started targeting them to either vote for him or stay home. He started making commercials for him.
Yep,
and that's really where it changed the game, because now black men are being marketed to. Now you need black men to win. You can't just sit there and tell them, stand in line and shut up.
Or
they're gonna do what they gotta do.
Yeah, or in case of the former anchor Tiffany Cross, black men need to fall in line with these black women. And to go off topic, that's probably one of the reasons that she was fired, because she said that statement.
That wasn't the reason she was fired, but I get your point.
Yeah, because you speaking. Yeah, but then that point of you can't just put the black man down as a means of propping up the black woman. But that's the midterm election results. Oh, by the way, Kidd Klutch, what happened in Georgia? What's going on in Georgia?
Well, right now they have the runoff election between Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. And they're saying right now Raphael Warnock has a huge lead over Herschel Walker. So we'll know the results, I guess, probably late Tuesday, next Wednesday. Depends on how long it takes them to count the elections, because I think they said yesterday was the last day of early voting, but they got one more on Tuesday on election day. So if you're in Georgia, go out there and vote and let your voice be heard.
Yep. Vote. to see change. Vote to hear your voice. Vote. Now that we got the election, midterm election results out the way, Mr. Kidd Klutch, let's talk about Mr. Kanye West, or as I like to call him, Koonye West. What's in the news now with this fool?
You know what? This fool does so much stupidness that you really don't know really what the cover and what to start with him. Because it's like the shit that comes out of his mouth, you can't really believe that somebody can be that ignorant, that stupid, that insensitive, that arrogant, that greedy, that narcissistic, that assholeish. There's just so much stuff you can describe this guy as. And then it's like, I don't understand him. It's like, what do you get out of bringing other people down? And I got to say this with other black people too that's following him. If you have to tear somebody else down to build yourself up, you know you're doing wrong. It's a problem. And it has to be called out. And I think anybody that is out here that's supporting him in his mess, they need to be called out. Because if anybody else does this, they'll be called a coon, a sellout. They'll be called a house nigga, everything. But it's like this guy keeps getting a pass. And it's like, when is it going to stop?
The only way you're going to stop it is we make it stop. We make it not profitable for him to say that mess.
And it's like this guy the other day, he got on the TV, he went on this guy, InfoWars show, the crazy guy Alex Jones, his show. It's like, this guy is crazy. You know he's a nutcase. He just got sued for making up conspiracy theories about the Sandy Hook kids. Not Sandy Hook not being real. That murder.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy. How insensitive can you be? And it's like, how heartless. It's like, the shit that Kanye West is doing, it makes no sense. It's like, how can you sit here and you say you support, you like Hitler? How can you sit here and say you like Nazis? How can you sit here and say, well, you can wear a t-shirt that says White Lives Matter and you know what your people went through? How can you sit here and say George Floyd died of a drug overdose and we saw what happened? It's like, how?
It's craziness.
It's craziness, and the people that follow him, they stupid.
I heard recently.
People that follow him, they need to be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, I heard recently Kanye West, man, he said, "I love Hitler." And I'm like, what? I'm just like, this man, he's too far gone. That's crazy. Even Alex Jones was questioning him, like, wait, what? Even if Alex Jones has to question him, that's something wrong. That shows you how far gone he is. And Kanye West called himself a Christian. He ain't no Christian.
Nope.
Wolves in sheep's clothing.
False prophet.
Yep.
And it's like this. Alex Jones, this man is racist. This man is crazy. This man is everything. Basically, I call Kanye West or Koonye West. It's like, if a racist is calling you racist and saying you too crazy, it's like, you went too far, man. And your own buddy Elon Musk, he recently bought Twitter last month. And he suspended you off of Twitter. And this is your buddy, your friend, your partner in crime, theoretically, not literally, but figuratively. Elon Musk, he supports the same nonsense that you support. But it's like, he's like, oh, this went too far. I can't even back you on this.
Yeah, speaking of Elon Musk, let's talk about the Elon Musk and Donald Trump controversy. What's going on with that?
Well, I'm going to specify, because it's Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Kanye West controversy. They all in it together. What I think is going on, and people have really discussed this, is that it's like these three powerful men, it's like they hit rock bottom. But it's like at the same time, it's like they're being radicalized by their own bullshit. It's like, you ever heard the saying, like a drug dealer, they got high off their own supply?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with them. It's like, they supposed to be radicalizing other people to believe the nonsense they've been spewing and hate, but it's like they fell for it. They got high off their own supply, and it's like if you look at all of them, it's like they're destroying their empires, they're destroying their families, they're destroying the planet. It's like everything they touch, it just turns bad. It turns toxic. It's like we got to stop putting people like this on a pedestal.
Yeah, I agree with you that. Those who have power, yeah, I agree. Sorry to cut you off, but go ahead.
Just because you have money and power, it's like we shouldn't even be putting you on a pedestal like you're some expert or something, because it shows that all three of them are ignorant.
Yep, it does.
Shows, and it's like, to me, it sounded like the way it looks, like they started off doing this stuff as a joke to get other people to buy into it, but it's like now it's like they bought into it themselves, like they believe it, and it's like it's showing like the destruction of greed, narcissism, anger, mental health. You have corruption. You have just racism, sexism, homophobia, all that, anti-Semitic stuff. It's just all that. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like you're putting fire, gasoline, oil, whatever is just flammable and out of control. It's like you're putting all that stuff in one. It's like it's self-destructing in front of our eyes.
Yep.
I think it's quite sad to watch.
Yeah, it seems sad to see these powerful men go down like that, but it's, at the same time too, it's kind of satisfying because like those in power, even those in power, don't know what they're doing. Just because you have money and power, that don't make you special at all. That just makes you a person with power, with money and stuff. And then now it's just like with all these people, Kanye West, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk, it's showing you the downfall. It goes to show you that is what the Bible says is true. For the love of money is the root of all evil. They love money so much that they're willing to do anything just to maintain it. Do any controversy, say anything, just to maintain that love and status of power. And it goes to show you. It goes to show you that those, yeah, I was going to say, it goes to show you that those in power and stuff like that, once they get afraid to lose that power, they'll go crazy. Go ahead. What are you saying, brother?
And it's really showing like they created this own monster, but it's like they lost control of it themselves, to where it's just crazy. And we're seeing it from prominent people to, the average Joe on the street. Because it's like these guys, years ago, they wouldn't have had no power. They wouldn't have been able to even attain the status they attained. Being is crazy. But it's like the fact that they attained it, and it's like they lost control of themselves. To where it's like they see themselves falling. It's like self-destruction. It's like you built yourself to be all this and that, but you're tearing yourself down with the same nonsense that built you. And I think with Kanye West, it's like, it's sad to see because you're an accomplished musician, producer, rapper. You went from being a billionaire to being back to a multi-millionaire, but you keep on, you may even lose that empire. And it's like, your whole point is making money, but you're losing all this money. And I don't want any ignorant fool to say, well, this is a grand plan of Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Kanye West. This is their big old grand plan to take down corruption, to make more money and this and that. No, the hell it's not. If you're losing money, then how is that smart? Tell me how losing billions of dollars is smart in any planet. It's not. We gotta stop this mess.
Yep. I'm glad you pointed that out because you got some these conspiracy theorists out there. They're like, it's a grand plan to take down the government and take down the system here.
It's like, what grand plan? What the hell is going on? It's like, when did losing billions of dollars become smart? And how? If you know basic math, you know that's not right. You try. The point of a business is to make money, not lose a lot of money.
Yep.
And it's like, too, if you know what you're doing, well, if Kanye West is such this genius that people claim him to be, and he's taking down this corruption, why is it that he goes and he says all this shit and spews it, conspiracy theories, but when he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar, people don't want to acknowledge that he goes and apologizes when his money gets hit. Because if he didn't care, he would just keep standing by it.
Yep.
It's like if he's saying he's taking stuff that he probably had experience with one or two Jews, and he's putting it out as all Jewish people are like this. And then he's dragging black people in it. And I don't understand how black people can stand with him when he's tearing down our own race. He's selling us out.
Yep. And speaking of sellouts, let's talk about these coons, man. You got coons out here just selling us out, betraying their own race for $1. What are your thoughts of Kanye West, and the rest of these coons, man?
It's crazy because it's like, I gotta ask you, is it worth it? Because Kanye West, think about this. You got so daggone arrogant to the point that you're airing your family business out. You airing stuff out with your ex-wife. You're putting your kids out there in it. You putting the whole Kardashian family out there. You calling this and that because you messed up your marriage with Kim Kardashian, but you're blaming the Kardashians for your downfall that you created. And it's like, you calling them Satan, you calling them this and that, but when you was with them, you had no problem. You saying people should have told me not to marry Kim. That's not our damn business. That's your business. America, I don't understand. This is what I understand. You're supposed to be this free thinker, but you can't pick a wife that's so-called good for you. You're this free thinker, but you didn't know not to marry a Kardashian. But you're this free thinker, but you didn't know how to not lose $1 billion. Billions of dollars. But you're this free thinker that you did not know not to wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt. You're this free thinker, but you did not know not to spew anti-Semitic comments. You're this free thinker to where you did not know that George Floyd died from the cops, Derek Chauvin, putting his knee on his neck. You're going to watch this dumbass conspiracy theory documentary on Candace Owens that she produced about George Floyd dying of a drug overdose. It's like, how insensitive can you be? This man's kids got to see this. His brother and sisters got to see this. It's like, how insensitive are you? How heartless are you? How cold are you?
And speaking of Candace Owens, I'm tired of her because she do that documentary and stuff like that. Now, I understand, like, she, quote-unquote, she said the point about calling out corruption with Black Lives Matter. I'm like, okay, I'm going to call that out, too. That's a bunch of race hustling right there, using the cause of black people getting shot at by the police, Patrice Cullors and everything else, and then they turn around and get money and profit off of Black Death. I mean, we're calling that out. But with Candace Owens, she's selling out her own race. She's talking about white males and everything, the most oppressed and all this stuff. And it's just like, you basically just trolling. And it goes to show you her mindset, her ignorant mindset and stuff. And what's sad about this is the NAACP supported her. Back when she was in high school, there was a case that she experienced racism. And the NAACP backed her up, and black folks backed her up. Came to her defense. What did she do when she got older? Being a sellout and a coon. And that's sad. I'm just like, you gonna sell your own people out for $1. They go to show you sometimes the most dangerous enemy of black folks is not the white man. It's not the white supremacists. Some of it is us. Because you got a bunch of sellouts who are willing to sell you out for $1.
And I echo those sentiments. And it's like this. People keep trying to conflate the Black Lives Matter movement with the organization. Yes, the organization is trash, but the movement was based on police brutality and violence against black people. But also, it goes back to what I was saying, I think in previous episodes, we got to hold our own people accountable for the mess they do.
Yep.
The violence that's going on within the communities, black on black crime. People don't want to talk about that. But yeah, we'll discuss more of that on a later date. But with Kanye West and Candace Owens, I want to discuss with them is that y'all want to be white so much, y'all marry white people, but it's like y'all want to follow white people, but then when stuff goes bad and shit hits the fan, y'all want to start saying, well, you're being oppressed, you're being attacked. The media is doing this to you. The cancel culture. People just get, you're drawing up all this hysteria, and it's like, how can you do that? And you stirred up all this mess. You did it. You chose to follow Donald Trump.
Yep.
You chose to make the documentary. You chose to draw up these conspiracy theories. And another thing with Kanye West I want to talk about with him is this fool went to Donald. He had the audacity to go to Mar-a-Lago to visit Donald Trump with the not conspiracy theorist, but Nazi guy, Nick Fuentes. And he asked Donald Trump, can Donald Trump be his running mate when he runs for president? And it's like, this is the thing I don't understand with Kanye. Kanye got the game twisted up. Kanye wants to be accepted by the other side, but he's not understanding your role with the other side is not what you want it to be. Think about this, Kanye. It doesn't matter how much Nazi stuff you say. It doesn't matter how much racist stuff you say against black people and White Lives Matter t-shirts you say. It doesn't matter how many white women that you sleep with. You are still black, Kanye. And that's how they all see you, as a black dummy.
Same thing with Candace Owens. Yep.
Candace Owens too. You could marry that white ass husband, but you still support this mess with the documentary, but you're still black, Candace. You're still black, and I think they need to be reminded of this. You're trying to gain affection and you want to be accepted by the other side, but you're not understanding this. You a player in this game. You ain't the boss. You a player. They sign your checks. They tell you what to do. And that's what Kanye don't seem to understand that. You had the audacity to ask Donald Trump to be your running mate, to be your vice president? Are you crazy? And Donald Trump got offended by that. What do you think was going to happen, Kanye? He used you.
Yep.
He played you. And to a certain extent, you played him too. And used him. But it's like this, Kanye, you got to understand this. The other side will never accept your black ass. You just got to come to terms with that. They will never accept you. Because guess what, Kanye? They don't work for you, Kanye. You work for them. So when Donald Trump or Elon Musk tells you to do something, you better, if they tell you to jump, you better ask them how high. That's what you got to understand, that you're never going to be in control of this. So you can sit there, you can run your mouth, you can act like you the whitest man on the planet, you can act like you can be a Nazi. That's your choice. You live in America. But don't try to use music and don't drag black people into your mess. Leave us out of it. Candace Owens, leave us out of your mess. We don't want to be a part of it. And I'm tired of people conflating this with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving made a mistake. Yes, he did. He apologized for it. Yes, he did. But Kanye West and Kyrie Irving are two different people. Yep. Kyrie Irving's heart was in the right place, but he was misinformed on some things. And he didn't do enough research, and he let his ego get in the way of certain things. But he is not a racist. He's not anti-Semitic or nothing. Kyrie cares about his people to a certain extent on certain things. He doesn't care about them more than he cares about himself, but he cares about his people. Kanye West doesn't give a damn about black people. That's the difference.
Yep.
Kanye West is a Nazi. He's a racist.
The man said it himself. He loves Hitler. The man said it himself.
He's a white supremacist. I'm going to say it like that. He loves Hitler. He's a white supremacist. He is a black white supremacist. You don't seem to understand what that is. There's something wrong. If you still support him in his mess, there's something wrong. You need to get checked out. You need to really, seriously.
Yeah, you need to go to a doctor, get you some therapy, get evaluated, take some pills and stuff. Because how can you defend this? This is nonsense. Some people say, "Oh, he's trolling." I'm like, we're long past trolling. If he was trolling, everybody would have known it. But it's just like when Kanye, this dude is clearly mentally ill.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's mentally unstable. Now, some people say, "Oh, you shouldn't call a black man mentally unstable." When he makes comments like this, when he says he loves Hitler, what the hell are you supposed to do? Not call him mentally ill? Not call him mentally unstable? Oh, they're trying to take down a black man. Fool! He just said he loves Hitler. He just proving you what type of person he is and whose side he's on. This is crazy. I already know how the people in the comment section gonna be. They be like, "Oh, you trying to take down a black man? You trying to do all this?" And it's like, no, this dude is a white supremacist. He just said it out of his mouth. He loves Hitler. Even Alex Jones had to question him because they can't even use Kanye West as their crash dummy anymore because it's the monster they created and stuff in terms of supporting, white supremacist ideals and talking points. Candace Owens, she's a traitor. She thinks that because she can marry a white husband and get all this stuff and speak out and talk down to black people, that she's going to be closer to white people, or better yet, closer to whiteness. But she has to realize something. Candace, I'm going to tell you this. If you watch this video, I'm going to tell you this to your face. You are not white. You will never, and I mean ever, be white. So stop acting like it. Support your people if you still can. But you won't. That money, that manna, is too important to you. So you'll do anything to sell your soul for $1. Congratulations, Candace Owens and Kanye West, Koonye West. You guys are both sellouts, and you are removed from the black community. You will be black, but you won't think black. Your mentality is too whitewashed and too corrupt. Basically, you're a traitor, and you're both a bunch of sellouts. That's my thoughts on them, right there.
And my thoughts on it is this: look, people, it's time to stop the BS, man. Are you going to continue to follow Kanye West down this path? Yes, I think Kanye needs to get help. People, instead of people encouraging his mess, they need to be trying to get him help. Because he's very mentally ill, mentally unstable. But also, I'm not going to use that as an excuse for white supremacy, because mental illness does not bring out white supremacy. If you're a white supremacist, you are a white supremacist. That's your character. And that's what we got to understand. And it's like you said with Candace Owens, and I'm going to say this with Kanye West. They will never accept you. They will never accept you, Candace. They'll never accept you, Kanye, or Koonye, or Ye, or whatever you want to be called. They'll never accept you. Get this through your brain. All the narcissism that you have, get that to your brain. It's not going to help you. They will not accept you. And they're showing you that now. They're throwing you under the bus. You don't see what's going on?
Yep.
They ain't letting you play. They ain't letting you self-destruct. And they don't even care. And it's like this, too. Yes, Kanye, we can separate his music from his words and stuff, but also like this. If you were buying Yeezys still, if you were standing with Kanye on his comments about white lives matter and anti-Semitic, you're complicit. You are a white supremacist. So it's time to pick a side. Are you going to be a white supremacist or are you going to stand with your people? And that's what's going on, too, in our community. We're not sticking together. The reason why Kanye got canceled for making the remarks about the Jewish people is because they stuck together. They said, no, we're not going to take this. But our people, we keep taking it. We keep following it. We make exceptions for people that we want to make exceptions for. If you will call other people coons and sellouts because they have a difference of opinion, and they haven't said half the stuff that Kanye or done half the stuff that he does, then you need to be calling out Kanye, because if you're not, you're a hypocrite too. If you're not, you're a white supremacist. You're upholding white supremacy. You are supporting this foolishness. And that's all I have to say with this.
Yep, and speaking of racism and white supremacy, let's talk about one of the most racist owners in the NFL. He is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Jerry Massa Jones. And the reason I call him Massa is because that's his mentality. He has the mentality of a literal white slave owner. Let me give you give people the backdrop or the background. When Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee and making a stand against injustice on police brutality, Jerry Jones told his players, you will stand for the national anthem. You will do all this stuff. And now, recently, there's been a photo circulating around the media about Jerry Jones when he was 14 years old in a white racist mob trying to intimidate black students from being integrated into their school because they didn't like that a bunch of black boys or black men were going and black women were entering the school and being integrated into the school. So they're trying to use that to intimidate them. And Jerry Jones, at 14 years old, was in that white racist mob. Jerry has refused to comment, or when he did comment, he treated it lightly. He said, I was just curious. I didn't know what was going on and everything, but he didn't denounce it. So, Mr. Kidd Klutch, you and me are going to talk about Jerry Jones' photo. But before we do, let's hear from a sports commentator, Mr. Jay Williams, talk and speak about the Jerry Jones photo and what he said needs to be done in regards to this controversy. We'll be right back once we're done hearing from his great commentary.
The bit, champing at the bit, as you probably taught me how to say, all week long to talk about this, man. There are two quotes I really want to break down. I want to do it with you guys in real time as this exercise. First quote that he said in response to it, I don't know that I or anybody anticipated or had a background of knowing what was involved. It was more of a curious thing. That was a quote that you had mentioned, Max. Second quote, nobody there had any idea, frankly, what was going on to take place. We didn't have all the last 70 years of reference. You didn't have a reference point there. Yo, hearing that, I don't want to hear that from Jerry Jones. What? Like, I don't want you to absolve yourself and everybody else there. So, look, I'm not going to hold a 14-year-old accountable, right, if that was curiosity. because I wasn't there. I don't know what was going on inside his brain during that particular time. But I do know that everybody else that was there, it wasn't just curiosity. There were racist people there. And what I need Jerry Jones to do, which I haven't seen him do throughout George Floyd, throughout every stuff, happening with, quote unquote anti-flaggers, right, going around Colin Kaepernick. I have not heard Jerry Jones denounce racism. I have not heard him do that. So when you have 50 years to think about this moment, or even had 3 days when you know this is coming, this article is coming out, first off, say, you know what, that moment was an ugly time in history. It was grotesque. It was monstrous. It was appalling. It should never happen. Don't lead with your first step being, well, it was a curious thing. Don't do that. Denounce it. Denounce it. And he hasn't done that, man.
At the very least.
But Max, even after George Floyd, you do not get to stand on the sidelines and just watch. Like, you can't at 80 years old be that 14-year-old kid who's poking his neck up to see what's going on. You have to stand on one side or the other. And by the way, I talk about denouncing it. His silence is him being complicit. So I'm not sitting up here on national TV saying Jerry Jones is racist. No. But your silence on not stepping up to the table and addressing things that are right in front of your face by still looking to see at 80 years old, that makes you complicit, man. And you can't be silent these days. You have to tell us where you stand.
Situation that nobody likes.
Well, you know what, Max, about cancel culture? Let's just go at it real quick, right?
Yeah.
When the Kyrie Irving post, like, people wanted him to denounce it right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the expectation that people had on TV. Denounce it. Come out, denounce it. Denounce anti-Semitism, right? Yeah. And he didn't do that. And it was blasted everywhere. So once again, I go back to my point. Jerry Jones had an opportunity to denounce racism. He chose not to, right? And the conversation then turns into, well,
happened a long time ago.
Happened a long time ago.
100%.
But he didn't take the moment to denounce it, so there's not the same energy. But remember, and that's the reality of the world we live in. And that's what LeBron was talking. That's what I've been talking about.
You're right,
Jay.
It's like, come on, man.
But remember what I said during the whole Kyrie situation. When we start talking about Jewish community, screaming mad, this, that, and the other. They took a proactive situation and elevated it. We got a situation from 1957, and we haven't, as a black community, elevated the noise level about the Jerry Jones picture. We haven't. So a lot of that ain't just on the media asking LeBron James a question. It's also on us to bring light to the situation.
Well, I understand.
Something that we just haven't
There's one other
done.
element. I agree with that,
that's
too.
That's why when LeBron steps up and he says, well, y'all haven't asked me anything about that, that's true. That is true. You run to him for everything else, but you won't run to him about something like that, but we allow it to happen and they get away with it. And that's why we're having a conversation.
Yeah, Right, and it depends who makes up the media or who makes up the people in positions of power, and that goes to Kanye when he talks to all the Jewish people. Yes, that is true. There are many Jewish people, including me, in the media or in positions of power, but we don't act in concert with one another. We're not pushing some agenda unless it's an unconscious kind of cultural preferences and stuff like that.
But if you go back,
I think you're talking about the verticals mainly.
You go back to everything. You go back to everything from the unrest that we was dealing with over a couple years ago, whatever, a year and a half, 2 years ago. We elevated that for sure, Jay. Right?
Yeah.
And we got some positive responses out of that.
No question.
But when you don't elevate the 1957 picture and you just kind of let it go, it goes out the window and continues to go down the ocean.
Here's another component
reality.
I want to consider for a second. There was one of these, maybe a Gladwell, I think it was a Gladwell book about, one of the you buy at the airport and read on the plane. Maybe, where he was talking about, and I bring this up on the show from time to time, malpractice lawsuits with doctors are much more highly correlated with bedside manner than result. Meaning the doctors who get sued for malpractice a lot, it's not based on the results of they messed it up, they botched it. It's how they interact with people.
Yeah.
Does the patient like them or not, right? Jerry Jones has an excellent bedside manner. People like Jerry Jones, including former players, including a lot of black players, right? Okay. Kyrie Irving's bedside manner is not as friendly in a public-facing way as Jerry Jones for a lot of people. And so when it gets
We
thick,
call that cap. Jerry Jones got a lot of cap.
got a lot of cap, and when it gets thick for Kyrie, he doesn't have the same equity in the kind of bedside manner account that Jerry Jones has.
But Max, like with bedside manner too.
That's a very secondary point. I realize.
I've been peeping this for a while. Like even after George Floyd, right? Once again, you talk about denouncing it. He avoided the topic for a long time, and then he chose to use certain words like, "Yeah, I think it's right that we show grace. You know, it's good that our players are showing quote unquote grace." And you're like, "Nah, Jerry, like you're missing the point here, man." And your line about MLK is so on point, and that's what I'm saying it again these days, right? A lot of companies, it affected their bottom line, but they chose to be on a certain side of history. What side of history do you want to be on, Jerry Jones?
100%.
You right though,
What
Jay?
side of history do you want to be on?
You right though,
It's not
but
going to affect his life at all.
He was already on the wrong side.
I'm not asking people to cancel Jerry Jones. I'm just telling you what time it is.
He was on the side. There were sides. There was over here where the normal people trying to go to school and the people trying to help them and live, with dignity. And on the other side were the bad guys. That was the side of history he stood right in the middle of, with the bad guys. Period. So you gotta speak to that. And until you speak to that, it really shouldn't be moved off of.
Sponsors ain't telling him they pulling out.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's a billionaire. He's going to do it his own thing. It doesn't affect him.
So until those sort of things happen, he's not going to do what you want him to do or what you're suggesting he do. It's just I'm telling you, the bottom line is key for what it is when it comes to guys like that. That's the way he's built, and you know how people say, well, they play both sides of the aisle? He's a both sides of the aisle guy.
Yeah.
Because that's just his deal.
Like goes back in sports, you heard that line, like Republicans buy shoes too. But I don't think we're in that type of society anymore. But this is not a Republican or Democrat thing. This is not like it will get polarized. It will get placated that way. You will hear those type of words used to continue to articulate opinions about it. But this is just you'll just tell us what time it is.
Jerry Jones needs to do a better job answering that question.
Yes, 1,000%.
And LeBron and more people need to be talking about it. I agree.
But more people need to be talking.
Yeah, and that was LeBron's point.
Let me tell you something, though, Max. Jerry Jones ain't gonna answer it no different than he already did.
Jerry Jones is basically Don King, man.
He's a cap artist.
Yeah, he's a cap artist. Yeah. Yeah, and he's very likable. It's hard even now. It's like you think about him and you smile, and he was with the bad guys. All right.
And we're back. So, Mr. Kidd Klutch, what do you feel about the Jerry Jones photo after Jay Williams spoke with that great, passionate about Jerry Jones, what he needs to do about standing up to racism?
First of all, I want to just salute Jay Williams for what he did. It was brave. It was the right thing to do. And it was needed. We salute you, Jay Williams. But now I want to go into Jerry Jones. Jerry, your response to this, it was idiotic. Because all Jerry had to say was, yes, I was in the photo. It was, 60 years ago? Or 70 years ago? 70-something years ago? I was 14. I was an idiot. I made a mistake. And I denounced racism. It's not who I am. But he couldn't even do that. So that's what it shows to, are you a racist, Jerry Jones? That's the question I have. Because if you're not a racist, it wouldn't be hard for you to denounce racism. It wouldn't be hard for you to just say, I made a mistake. I don't support this. And I have a problem with what Stephen A. Smith said. What he said, Jerry Jones being 14 and the media is being unfair to him about him, the photo, because it was 14. He was 14 years old when it was leaked, when he was taken, where he felt like it was a cancel culture type of thing. And I agree with Stephen A. You can't go after a person, something they did at 14 years old and they're 80 years old. But here's something I want to ask Stephen A. And he addressed this on First Take. is if this was a black person and they were 14 years old, do you think people would have pity on them? No. But I'll take that into account. What you're saying, he's 14? Yeah. I won't hold that against him being 14. But I will hold it against him being 80. What he's doing now. Because what is Jerry Jones doing now? Do you know the Dallas Cowboys was founded in 1960? And Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys in 1989. He's owned the Cowboys for 30-something years, almost 40 years. And they have yet to have a black head coach. They do have one high-ranking exec that's black, Will McClay. He's the VP and Director of Player Personnel. But with the exception of him, there are no high-ranking black officials in his organization. And also, Jerry Jones made comments on Colin Kaepernick when he was standing up for racial injustice. And he told his players, my players, if you stand here, if you are a player for the Dallas Cowboys, you will stand for the national anthem. You will not kneel. He said, you will stand. You will put your hand, he said, hands over your hearts. I think he said shoulders down, hands over hearts. And he told him, he said, if you kneel, you will not play for this team. And he said because of reasons, it being that people in Texas, it would offend them. It would be viewed as unpatriotic. Jerry, I got something to tell you, Jerry. Black people buy tickets too, Jerry, to Cowboys games. They're fans. You got black people in Texas. You got white people in Texas that supported the deal, Jerry. Not just people that are Republican, Jerry. Democrats, independents, black, white, Hispanic. They support this, Jerry. So what are you trying to say? Are you saying that you're just catering to a certain part of the segment of your fan base, Jerry? Or are you saying that you don't care about things that are going on in the black community? Or are you saying that's none of your concern? Or are you saying that black people just need to shut up and be grateful for what they have, Jerry? And that's what I want to ask, Jerry. Why is it so hard for you to denounce racism? The bare minimum, you can't do that. Why is it? And I want to ask the media, because LeBron James, he brought this conversation back into the light.
Yeah, don't you mean the GOAT, LeBron James?
No, I'm not going to call him that. But look, Michael Jordan is. LeBron James is, he brought it back up during the press conference the other night. He said, how come nobody in the media has asked me about Jerry Jones? You asked me about Colin Kaepernick. You asked me about Kyrie Irving. And that's a fair question. It's a question that many of us had. LeBron, bravo to you, too. We salute you, too. But
yeah.
Jared, the media, that's a good question. How come y'all haven't called him out? How come y'all haven't called Brett Favre about a lot for the dirtbag stuff he did?
I'll tell you why they won't call him out. Because this is what the media covers, whatever the heck they want, whatever the hell they want to cover. If they want to focus on something, they'll focus on it. If they want to brush it under the rug, they'll brush it under the rug. It's something LeBron has alluded to, and Roland Martin has alluded to, because he worked well in the media for years now. He came on First Take, and he talked with Stephen A. Smith about the media, and he was going in on the media, saying that they want to cover certain stories and everything else. It's not just the reporters, it's the writers, it's the editors, it's the directors. There are, all of them go hand in hand when it comes to the media and covering certain topics. And this is why I consider LeBron James to be one of the greatest players of all time, or to be one of the GOATs, is because of his unrelenting, passionate stance against racial injustice. If this was Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan would have kept silent. In fact, he did keep silent with the terms of the Rodney King beating. But in terms of LeBron James here, when it came to Jerry Jones, he asked that question. Why hasn't the media asked him that question? And my thoughts on this on this as follows: the media covers whatever the hell they want to cover. They will cover it because they don't want the Jerry Jones photo getting out. They don't want it to become a prominent discussion, so they'll keep it under wraps. But they will cover Colin Kaepernick and Kyrie Irving. You know why? That draws headlines. That draws ratings. It's all about headlines, ratings, and profits for these news media organizations. I call them organizations because they're not even real reporters. They're not even real news. They report biased news that fits their bottom line. That's all. That's really what it boils down to. Their bottom line and money and ratings and all that determines which stories get covered and which stories don't get covered. And plus, the media doesn't want to talk about racism. I'm going to keep it plain and simple. They do not want to talk about it. It makes them uncomfortable, and it makes the dominant society, i.e. the white society, uncomfortable. That's why they won't talk about it, to answer your question. What are your thoughts on this, Kidd Klutch?
My thoughts on this is that Jerry Jones should have to deal with the same scrutiny that Kyrie Irving dealt with with regards to the anti-Semitic video that he reposted. I think Jerry Jones should be forced, like Jay Williams said, to denounce racism. That's number one. But also, he should be going to sensitivity training classes on racism. He needs to sit down with some black activists to discuss the issue going on in the black community and donate money. And I'm not talking about little chump change. I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. Because Jerry, you got a fat wallet. You're a multi-billionaire, my man. So put your money where your mouth is, Jerry. Do that. And also, I think he needs to consider hiring a black executive or something. And he needs to go out in the black community and start advocating for certain issues. Because Jerry's wealth, the majority of his wealth, came on the backs of black players such as Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Dez Bryant, Deion Sanders, Larry Brown. I already said Dez Bryant, so Micah Parsons now. Dak Prescott. And I think you're doing a disservice to your players that their own communities is hurting, and you don't even give a damn about it. And it's like, shame on you, Jerry. We know your bottom line is all that you care about. And it's like, when are you going to stop worrying about your bottom line now and start doing the right thing, Jerry? And like I said on the last segment, or you pick a side, Jerry. Are you on the side of white supremacy, or are you on the side for right, for justice, equality? It's your choice, Jerry. But I also encourage those in the media, give Jerry the same energy that you would give a LeBron James, you would give a Kyrie Irving, that you would give I know y'all familiar with this name because this is y'all go-to when something goes wrong, Michael Vick. Give him that energy.
Yeah, I feel like.
Yep. And Stephen A. Smith, you cleaned up some of the stuff that you said with the defending the Jerry Jones. I understand you and Jerry Jones, you have a good relationship. You speak with him at times. But also Stephen A. said he brought up the issues about the Colin Kaepernick thing with Jerry Jones, and he saw him before. And okay, if you do that, but Stephen A., your explanation for defending him is not good enough, Stephen A. And it's like I have to say with this. I gotta ask you this question, Stephen A. If you were in the same position, would Jerry Jones defend you? If the answer is not yes, then you shouldn't be defending him. Jerry Jones is a multi-billionaire. He doesn't need anybody to defend him. He's a big boy. He's a grown man. He can defend himself. And Jerry Jones is never he's never scared to get near a microphone. So he should have to stand there, and he should have, the media should press him on all this, and he should be forced to denounce racism. He does it, we'll see who he is.
In regards to Stephen A. Smith, I want to say something to you. This is nothing against you personally. This is about your career and how it looks. I understand you are you did a communications major, and I took communications when I was in college. This is from one communications major to another. Know your audience, sir. If you know your audience is mostly black folks listening to you, and you know you don't want to get called a sellout, don't defend Jerry Jones of all people. He can take care of himself. He don't need you. You don't need to be his whipping boy or come to his defense and say, Master. Don't worry, Master. I'll defend you, Master. Because, to be honest, I'm going to tell you, that's how it looks. I'm just keeping it real. I'm telling you what the deal is. I'm telling you that's how it looks. When you defend him and everything, your explanation on Jerry Jones and the photo and everything else, yeah, I'm not going to hold it against him that he was 14 and everything else. But I will hold it against him at what he's doing at now at 80 years old. He can defend himself and be like, hey, listen, what I did back then was disgusting. It was outrageous. I shouldn't have did that. That's all he had to say, but he didn't say that. So why are you, Mr. Stephen A. Smith? I will call you Stephen A. Coon, but I don't think you're a coon. I think you're trying to defend your boy, Jerry Jones, your homie, but that's not a very good defense of your homie, Mr. Stephen A. Sometimes your friends got to fight their own battles, and this is one of them. And to be honest, is Jerry Jones even your friend? Like Mr. Kidd Klutch stated, if you were put in the exact same position, would Jerry Jones come to your defense? If the answer is no, then, like Mr. Kidd Klutch said, you don't need to be defending him. And that's my take on you, Stephen A. And if you got something to say, if you see this video, or see this audio, or see this podcast in general, and if you got something to say, you can come on here. We're not stopping you. But this wasn't the best time to defend Jerry Jones, sir. That's just my 2 cents on it. So, Mr. Kidd Klutch, what are your thoughts on not Jerry Jones no longer, but on scandals, controversy, and speaking of that, we're going to talk about the last issue, which is another cheating scandal. This time on Good Morning America, 2 reporters caught in a secret love affair. The people I'm talking about are, of course, TJ Holmes and Amy Rockback. Mr. Kidd Klutch, what are your thoughts on this horrible, evil, wicked scandal?
My thoughts on this is that it's funny because we can't make none of these topics up. They just keep coming. And this week has been crazy, full of scandal and scandal, corruption, just everything. It's just so much. And I think with this is I happen to be a fan of TJ Holmes, and I watched Good Morning America, the GMA3 show that they on from time to time. And I think I saw the scandal. First, I said, okay, I saw it come out by 2 media outlets. I said, okay, maybe it's not true. Let's just keep it going. And I'll still say allegedly. We don't want to get any lawsuits or nothing. This because it hadn't been confirmed yet by ABC. But when I saw the scandal come out, I was like, no. But then I looked at the photos of Amy and TJ holding hands, and they went out of town to a cabin together. And I was like, okay, this is not looking good. I said it has to be truth, because I started seeing more outlets reporting on it. And then I was saying, this didn't just come out of the blue. This came from inside. It either came from the spouses of TJ or Amy, or it came from somebody that worked within the ABC organization that leaked the video, or leaked the photos. And you said secret, as I'll say it was a secret to us, but it didn't sound like it was a secret in ABC and on GMA. Let's just say that.
Yep.
But,
And speaking of another secret affair, there was recently a report that TJ Holmes had another affair with the producer of Good Morning America right before she left. Oh boy, this gets worse and worse. Kidd Klutch, what are your thoughts on that as well?
my thoughts on this is TJ is not looking good for you, buddy. From a public relations standpoint, but from a career standpoint, I read a report saying that ABC said that they will be keeping Amy and TJ for right now because they've seen their ratings shoot up this week after the scandal came out. And they're saying if the ratings continue to go up, they'll keep their jobs. And I think what's going on too is that it's just showing you how these media outlets they're hypocritical when it comes to certain things. Like they all for this, especially the Disney company, which owns ABC and ESPN. And it shows how hypocritical they are. They always say, well, they're for this progression. They don't like workplace relationships. But it just shows you they'll bend the rules for people that they want to do. Because these are their top anchors on the network. So it's showing you how it goes, the power dynamics and these things. It shows when you have power, you can kind of do whatever you want. And nobody will question it. It depends on which organization you are at. And they'll call out other people in different networks. I remember ABC was reporting on this and calling out NBC when they had these issues going on. But it's now that it's on ABC, they seem to have swept it under the rug. And I don't think they should get fired because I think they're good at their jobs. I think now what they did with their affair or whatever happened, that's between them and their spouses. That's not our business, but it's just funny when you look at how news organizations operate. And you know, Hollywood and different things. And what I want to say, too, is that it's funny, I bring this up a lot on this podcast, that you and I, we always used to have this debate on workplace relationships. And I used to be strongly against you on it. But over the past few months, I've been slowly going over to your side. Because I've seen how toxic and crazy it can get out of nowhere, workplace relationship. And I think in this era, it's really not smart because to refer to something that the person we previously talked about on the previous segment, Stephen A. Smith, said that he never engaged in workplace relationships at ESPN because he knew these catastrophic events could occur and it can interfere with your money. And I think it's like that too. It's like, it's just not a good place to be in.
I agree on that too.
I totally encourage people to, if you're going to get in a relationship like this, just know the consequences of it. Because it's not good.
Nope, it's not good at all. It doesn't end well. See what's happening now with these workplace relationships. It's not with these two anchors. It's not going well. It's getting a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And Mr. Kidd Klutch, what are your final thoughts on the entire topic that we covered as a whole?
My final thoughts on all this is, look, make better decisions. Keep your legs closed. Keep your pants zipped up at work. Don't get caught in racist photos. What else? And don't associate with white supremacists. That's my final thoughts on that.
Yeah, my final thoughts are follows. Don't associate with no white supremacists. Don't be no sellout. Don't be no traitor. Stick by your people and everything. Know who you are as a person. And don't, for the love of God, get into no workplace relationship. It doesn't end well. It will always be in controversy. You'll always be scrutinized. If you want a relationship with somebody, do it. Get with somebody after work or out of work. Somebody that's away from your job and is not tied to the job. Please. Thank you. That's just my final thoughts on that. And we're going to close out the Black Evolution Podcast. We're going to tune in and get more episodes, more controversy. We're going to talk about topics that no one would ever dare talk about. This is the Black Evolution. I'm Dabba Dale. This is Kidd Klutch. We signing off. Tune in. Hey. The Black Evolution. We changing culture. We changing minds. We changing history.